Alright. Welcome back to Late Night Deving. I'm going to be continuing what we did in the previous one of these streams. It's been about a week since the last one, but I was able to get a little bit done between streams, and that's what we're going to be implementing today. So let's implement it. Alright, cool. So, last time, we were creating this guy, Paul. He's kind of our test enemy that we're going to be building up the entire enemy system around. And ideally, if I do this setup phase correctly, it's going to make implementing every other enemy in the game really easy. I should only have to draw their sprites and assign the attacks that they have, and then that would be all I would have to do. Let me see here. Okay. So, what I did between now and the last time... am I too loud? The levels are looking like I'm a little loud. Hang on, I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna be too worried about that. Ooh. Hello, I'm speaking. I'm speaking right now. Is it too loud? Hello, I'm speaking. I'm speaking right now. Is it too loud? Oh, no, not really. Okay. Okay, so let's implement all the attack animations that I drew over the week. I go into test, all attacks. Here I have two new folders here. One is for a ranged attack. I'm calling the Polikin. And as well as an upward and a downward slice that are just going to be kind of quick things that they can throw out. I should already have the animations. Yeah. Already got all the animations set up in the animators. Now all I have to do is assign them. Headphone. Let's do up slice. Down slice. Row. Polikin. Or is it Ian or An? Ian. Okay. Yep. Ian, all of them. I should not care. I should not care about that. Okay. Wish all of this would reset as opposed to just taking the elements from the above. Can I revert that? Okay, that might be it. Okay, I'm just going to do that with all of them now. Polikin. This is going to be a retreat attack, so when he's walking away from you, he'll throw it out. Because a ranged attack is better when they're further away, typically. And distance from player, let's set that to like 3. Alright, now we need to assign the different animations. Actually, there's only one animation for this, and I might regret that later, and if so, I can just split these up into different ones, but I think I want to be able to just have an attack that doesn't have anticipation and startup animations. Because it's already like timed out here the way that I want it. Whereas with the other attacks, like the head bonk, I wanted to do the startup, then loop the anticipation an undetermined amount of time, and then do the launch. And so, like, that attack benefits from having all three animations separated like that. But this one, I just kind of want it to do this and then be done. So let's see. I guess I would just want it to be the startup animation. And now, if we go into the script, go through here. Yeah. So this is where the attack animation logic is. The question is, should we make it a separate, like not even a coroutine, if it's just the startup? I guess we could have it fork here. We could have it branch right here. So if startup animation and patient animation and launch animation. So if all of those exist, then we go through the whole routine here. Otherwise, actually, is there any moment where I would want to have a different type of attack? Startup and anticipation launch, or just startup? Is there any other combination that I might want? Anticipation only works if it has a startup. I think launch only makes sense if it has anticipation. So I think that there's only two options. Either it has all three, or it's just the startup and it's just one continuous animation. But if I need to change that, then we'll know to come back here. It won't be hard to find this spot. Okay, so instead of attack routine, we're just going to do separate function. This is attack routine, maybe like one animation. And then we do want to pass through the attack itself that we are launching. We are going to start that. Is there any other... Actually, this could still be an iEnumerator. Completely copy that. Perfect. I am seeing an issue, a potential issue here. If the enemy is able to, like, be knocked out of their attack for whatever reason, and then they start up another one, then this is still going to fire. Potentially have to come back to this. Let's see if that's even a problem. Okay, so this should automatically fork between the two. So there should be no problem with having this just be here like that. It is ranged. And the attack type. This is something that I made for melee attacks, but I just realized I didn't create like a is ranged value for that enum. Here. Maybe NA? Is it? No, it wouldn't be put in a slash. I'll still know what that is. NA. That's for like parrying a melee attack, so that's not going to apply. And the projectile itself is going to have its own attack properties, so it doesn't need to be applied here in this attack. However, it doesn't matter. That's for another thing that I did. Dissipation time does not matter. I wish I knew a little bit more about like setting up the editor and changing the way it looks, because I've only just started dabbling in it for this project. Just having the different display mode here, so like between the basic stats of the enemy and the animations. This is really cool. I really like just being able to change my workspace to be more efficient for myself. And I kind of wish I knew more about, like, say if I set that this was a ranged attack, it would get rid of the things that don't matter to a ranged attack. But now, honestly, I think this is fine. It's just something for me to learn in the future. We can set up the up slice. I heard Charlie in the background barking there. He's going crazy. Station, launch. Hey. Color. Hopefully I set it up right. If I don't touch this at all, it's just going to default to white. I should not have to set that to white. Anticipation time, for this one I want it to be pretty short. Maybe like 0.3 seconds. Attack stance is up. Is stanced. Cool. Realize that is directional kind of like it doesn't really make sense to define that here because the direction is like left and right. It's the direction they're facing, so that's not going to be something that's just always true to the attack. Okay. What happened? Something else is... Yep. Other things are relying on that. Max distance from player. The head bonk is 0.5. So this should be similar or the same range. Be similar to the other one. Still aggress, yep. Place. Test. All. Slices. Whoa, there we go. I did not fully build out the system for attacks, so this is not going to be fully functional. Just for me setting these up here. But I am just putting them all in so that we can see how well this works. Activation time. And what we're going to do is we're going to animate the hitboxes individually for the attacks. But for right now, let's just check to see if the behavior works, because that is the thing that we made last time. So now, if he is retreating, he should be able to do his ranged attack, and if he's up close, he should be able to choose between all three. Okay. Okay, he's doing a lot of ranged attacks right now. But if I'm really close, he should not be able to. Okay, so obviously that's not working yet. Also, we need to set his sprite to not be on the same layer as this. Honestly, we can just get rid of this. Okay. Let's go into Paul's head. Try to figure out what is going wrong. Yeah, so here's dist. This should actually have to be 3 in order for him to do his Holocan attack. So I obviously don't have it set up. Right, and also he has not yet done any of the other attacks, which is a little bit spooky. Why not? Oh, okay. There you go. He did that one. Give me a slice. What if I make him just super aggressive? Oh. Okay, so this is something that I didn't think I had set up, but I guess I'll check. If I go into Paul's animations... No, it's kinda fortunate is that I actually named all the attacks the same things. Here I have it be head bonk underscore, and then what the animation type is, but here I messed up. I need this to be up slice. Copy that. I think I changed their name here. That was high slice. Well, let's keep the naming consistent. Eh. And actually, that might be why the animations aren't working. Because their names didn't match the animation name that they were looking for. So this should be low slice. So now if I go into Paul, there we go. I can actually see all the animations now. That's what I was looking for. If I go into his head bonk, I do have this spawn attack here. So what I need to figure out is this passing in the right type? I need you to head bonk me. Come on. Oh, okay. There's the slices. Okay. So it is passing through slam correctly, which is fantastic. But it is not able to get... Did I assign these animations in the attack script? Say probably not. I did here. So it should be able to find an animation in there. Wait. Come on, Paul. Aggression. So it does create the attack, which is lovely. But it is not actually playing an animation. It does have all the animations in here. Okay. So this is being called correctly, it's just not able to find. There's only one animation in here, so this is actually 0 to 0. Oh, the name. Do the names match? That was the problem before with Paul's animation, so maybe the attack itself also has mismatched names. Slam A. That is what that's called there. It's called Slam A. Okay, so it's not a naming problem. Oh, wait. Does it not have its animator? Oh my god. Okay. Silly mistakes. So now, there should be a nice slam animation that plays whenever Paul does the head bonk. I'm just gonna make him super aggressive now, because otherwise we're never gonna get there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it doesn't need to destroy itself, but... Okay, that's awesome. Okay. Once it starts up the animation, it should... I think it needs to... Get components, destroy self, which is a script I made. Destroy after delay. Then clip dot length. So now it's automatically gonna destroy itself. After whatever the length of the animation is, so now I don't need to be worried about timing things properly, whatever the animation is, it's gonna find the length of it and destroy it after. Oh, I need to see your war face. Come on, buddy. Perfect. It does seem to be coming a little bit... Come on. Not that, Paul. Here's another one. It's been the same one every time that I wanted you to do. There we go. Okay. We go frame by frame. It should probably start the animation here. Actually, no, wait. The slam animation starts when his head should be in the ground. That is when it should start. Going there. Okay, good. We also just need the attack anchor to be a little higher. System here with the attack anchor probably could do with some refining. Like maybe instead of me having to define where the attack is compared to them, I just have it use raycasts and figure out where exactly it needs to spawn. Because that's another step that I would need to do every time I make an enemy. Come on, be aggressive. Should not be running away at all right now. There we go. Much better. See that up attack again. The up attack seems a little bit slow compared to the other ones, yeah? Oh, Unity's doing a weird thing that I need to fix by just closing it and reopening it. No point having a chat if no one's in there. How many frames does that attack have? Like, low slice is already here on the second frame. But high slice... No? I think it just doesn't cover as much ground, but the timing is the same. Alright. It's not a problem with, like, the way that it's built. I don't need to worry about that for Paul. Just needs to be readable. Gotta remember that. Okay. Now let's figure out why he's throwing the polygons from way too far away. It definitely needs to be a shorter distance, definitely. But... like, we were right up in his grill and he was still doing that. Should not be possible. I think I created a comment. Oh wow, attack appears a lot in this script. second, everyone. Sorry. Okay, cool. So where do we decide the attack? Right here. And check attack valid. Ah. Well, actually no. This is already an absolute value. This should... Goes through all of the attacks that the enemy has. And then specifically out of the valid attacks, it chooses one of those. So somehow the Polican is being added to the valid attacks, which means it must be passing these tests. This one specifically is even separate from this other if statement. Dist is greater than maximum distance from player, and I have maximum distance from player set. I had it at 3 before. Wait. It's a maximum. It's not a minimum. That's it. I need to create a new thing that's minimum distance. Okay. Figured it out. Just had to start remembering the meanings of words. So, if we go into the attack, we just need to add that as another parameter. Minimum distance from player. And what I should do is make it so that if either of these are 0, that just means they're not considered. So now I have that set. Now I need to go into valid. Forgot the name of it. Uh-oh. Attack valid. Here it is. Okay. If attack dot maximum distance from player doesn't equal 0, and that, and then the same thing. Minimum distance, though. Then same thing. Okay, lovely. So now I should be able to say he can't do it if the player's too close. But for attacks that I don't want to bother with setting it, if I leave it at 0, it's not going to affect them at all. Let's say the minimum distance is actually like 1.5, and the maximum is 3. Seemed like it was like off the screen, so let's not let him range attack you from off the screen. So now it should be impossible for him to do his Polican when we're close. The double check. Let's set his cunning up super high so he's constantly going to be trying to. Perfect. I think I need to set his attack animation to not loop. Yes, Paul. Yep. There we go, that looks much better. Okay, now let's see if we can make these attacks actually attack and able to hit the player. We probably should start with the melee ones, since those are going to be a little bit simpler. Do the head bonk first. Classic. This one we're going to use the circle collider to be the hitbox, I believe. That means when he starts attacking, the circle collider that is his attack hitbox is going to activate. But the actual animation of it we need to do by hand. And I don't think there's a way for us to avoid that. I've tried thinking about other ways I could potentially do this hitbox system. And obviously I'm not perfect, but I can't think of anything. And it shouldn't be too difficult. All we need to do is go into the collider and slowly work our way through here. Here we want the offset to be more over here. The radius to be a bit bigger. Do want the hitbox to stay inside of him, though. At that point, the attack is over, so we should just disable the hitbox there. Let's have the circle start over here. Much better. And this script, this attack script is automatically, at least it should be, automatically filled in with the damage and what type of attack it is. So we don't need to touch that at all. Let's just see how clean this is. Come on, Paul. Wrong one. You know you want to. Please. Paul. Okay, so I think I know the issue. Another simple mistake, yep. These should be triggers. Alright, we go again. Oh no, Paul, you're aggressive. Come on. Okay, well, it is a trigger now, as it should be. And these are attacks. So let's see if the player is actually detecting the collision here. Oh, that's right. I completely deleted my attack collision system. All right, we got to rewrite this. Just like the enemy before, it was too rigid the way I had it before, so that's why I deleted it. Forgot I hadn't gone around to actually fixing that. Okay. Should be able to do this very similarly to how projectiles are detected. Damage avoid with the attack. Perfect. Then we just forget it because it was avoided. We also check for parry. There we go. These are the things that are new, the check for avoid and check for parry. So that's what I set up, but I forgot to actually plug this in to where hits get detected. Yes, so in this case, with its projectiles, I want the projectile to bounce off of you if you parry it. But for an attack, it's going to be a little bit more complicated than that. So we are getting the entire attack script, which is helpful because that means we're going to get the stance, which is good. So if attack got stanced, first let's do the one where if it's not stanced. Then all we have to do is check if we're in the perfect parry timing. Let's see. Just check for parry. That's hit manager. Is it in flash control? That seems wrong. Wait. Hold on. I don't like the way that I wrote this before. I think I need to change that too. Flash control is... So my idea for this game is that when you parry an enemy or if you hit them, the camera like zooms in and the way you control the player completely changes to this really fast-paced combat with this one-on-one combat system. So I have overworld control and clash control as two separate player controllers that get switched between depending on if you're in that clash. And it doesn't make very much sense for me to make checking if the parry is perfect is only in clash control, because I want clash control to be doing nothing if we're in the overworld. I'm kinda thinking I just delete this and write it somewhere else. There should be another script that is able to manage that kind of thing that both controllers have access to. Let's see. Attack spawn. Because both controllers are going to have a thing where if you press the parry button, they start a parry timer. What does overworld control do to set the perfect parry timing then? Ready parry routine. Oh, perfect window. Oh, I just had a different name for it in overworld control. Okay. That's fine. Then they would both have their own unique perfect window. Okay. That's how I did it before. I'm trying to think of other things that I would want, potentially, even in a script that both of them can see, in a similar vein. Because both combat styles are completely different, I don't think there's going to be any overlap where, like, I want the parry you do in the overworld, that you, like, press in the overworld to now parry over into the clash. So I think, actually, it does make sense for them to have their own different variables for this. We just need to make sure the name is the same in both, because otherwise I'm going to get confused like I just did. So yeah, that is what we concluded from that. So we were in... Hit Manager? Yes, okay. If overworld control dot perfect window. Sure, okay. Then combat effects dot parry perfect. What else do we need? Yes, by the player. Hit Manager, do you have a... Parry particle position, that's it. We also want that to happen, and we also want... what does it do? Parry success. There we go. Okay, so if the attack is not stanced, meaning we should be able to parry it no matter what parry or what position we have our sword in, then it's as simple as check if we're in the perfect window. Then we... Actually, this should be... So this is if the parry... So this needs to be... So this is going to check for if we successfully parry or not. I feel like in this function we could check if it's perfect. Well, certainly we can check like stances and stuff in here. And then we could just handle perfect or not here. I think that makes sense. Let's see, does parry success? This does not handle at all perfect. Okay. I'm getting kind of what's going on. Okay, so here is where we should be like, okay, if it's in the perfect timing, do the perfect thing. If it's not, do the not perfect thing. But we're always going to want to end this part with telling the overworld controller that the parry was successful. If still parry, I'll pass through the same stuff here. I didn't like this. Just keep it nice and condensed. Okay. After that, yes, we do yield break. But if this did not work out, if you did not avoid and you did not parry, then we do get hit. Not by the projectile. Damage, attack, dot, direction. Let's see. And it's not a shove. I mean, actually, I guess it should be is shove is what determines whether or not it's a shove. Okay. And I think this system here is already in place. So let's see if this worked. No errors, anyway. Yes! Okay, awesome. Okay, well, parrying is not working, but we are at least getting hit by it. That should be within the parry window. Just double check. Oh, you know what? I think I know what it might be. Collapse these. Okay. Parry is not even being mentioned. I think we're not neutralizing the attack if it gets parried, which is something we need to do. Projectile attack. Okay. Because projectile that bounce off neutralizes that. I didn't do anything to neutralize the attack here. So what we want to do is attack.neutralize. That's its own thing. So I think I was parrying it, but then it might have just kept going through it. It was still dangerous. Nope, okay. Different problem. Huh. I need to make sure... I know. Log all actions is currently on. You might not... really not logging successful parries? It's like a bit of an oversight. No, yeah, we should be. We should be seeing parry success down in the console if the parry was a success. So, clearly, it's not. Hit manager, check for parry. Oh, I didn't. Please, someone ban me from thinking activities. I didn't set up the check the parry thing. Okay. Do we have access to his parrying or parry ready? Yes, we have parry ready and stance. Check stance attack. This returns true if our stance is equal to the attack, or if the attack is not stanced, it also returns true. Perfect. Checking, okay, we didn't need to use that in any other spot. So if we are stanced properly for the attack, if overworld control, actually, first I should check. Nope, stop. Parry ready. And also the stance is correct. Otherwise, we're going to return false. This handles the perfect or not. So, all this needs to do is return true here. It's really that simple. Okay. The other thing that I want to do assuming this works. So I've been having a little bit of a think about making the combat system a little bit more accessible. Okay, it's kind of working, but it does continue through and continue to hurt me, which is not cool. I think that can be fixed by just giving Paul a "you got deflected" animation, and then having him cut to that when you parry it. But I don't want every attack to cause that kind of stagger, so it should still work. The attack should be neutralized. Let's watch it frame by frame. All aggressive. Start it? Okay. Set the time scale nice and low. Okay. The attack still exists. Is it neutralized? It's not neutralized. Why isn't the attack neutralized? That's the entire point of the neutralize function, which I should be calling. Let's see. Uh-huh. That. What do you mean? A separate thing. How do I make it work for projectiles? Because projectiles don't hurt you at the same time. You know, the other thing to note is that this must be getting called twice, at least. Because the parry success, if this is being called, that means the code is getting here, in which case it's going to get stopped by the yield break. And the only way the player takes damage is if this is red. So it must be just getting called too many times, which is the point of the incoming hit queue. At least I thought. I wonder is there a way for me to tell if something is a unique attack that hasn't been put into the queue before? And if it isn't, just discard. Like right here. Yeah, what if I make a list? Oh boy. I gotta remember how to do this. List of, they're called enemy attacks? No, just attack script. Incoming, maybe queued attacks. What we want to do is put the attacks in the queue once this is called and they're noticed, but then at the end of the queue, after they're processed, at the end of the frame, then we remove them from the queue, just to prevent the list from getting infinitely large over the course of a battle or something. We need to have a way for the queue to empty out the items. what we need to do is here, if attack for every item in the queue. So I is less than queued attacks count. If attack equals queued attacks, then return. Otherwise, we add it to the queue. Then here, I'm going to hit Q for attacks. Yeah, so once we're actually like at the end of the frame and we've discovered that this is the only attack, now we can get rid of it. So we don't want to put it at every single one of these yield breaks. Dot remove. This makes sense to me. Oh, I really hope this works. I think I'm cooking. I think I'm cooking with it. At least with the core principle. Not player. Paul. Come on, hit me. Hit me, Paul. Not like that. Not like that. I should not have given you all of your attacks. I'm still getting hit by it. Players, parry still ready? I don't think they are. I did that too early. Ah. Come on, I just want to like queue up my parry. I want to queue up the parry, but have the time be going really slow so I'm able to watch the queue really closely. Too late. Oh, goodness gracious. We should be able to see it in debug mode. Yeah, you'd attacked. Please. Okay, thank you. You know what? Maybe we make this much easier on ourselves for a second, and we don't make it end of frame. We just wait like 3 seconds. Now I don't need to have the super tight timing here. Uh-oh. What's going on here? He's very mad at me for some reason. Just clear it. There we go. It's like nothing happened. So now there should be a 3-second delay between me getting hit. Okay, there's not. Which... Okay, that's actually super interesting. Why is that happening? Is there still a queued attack for 3 seconds? Oh, wow, okay. My entire perception of the problem has been wrong. It's nothing to do with the Q. So where else could Get Hit be getting called from? One for projectiles and one for regular attacks. Here, anyway. But what about in the overworld control? There's the ref. What? Why did you make me do that? Get Hit. This is in Hit Manager. And the only way this is called is because we... In incoming hit queue, the queue got... Or they went through the queue. So that should not be... Okay? Combat effects dot get hit, though. Oh, that's the only one of those. Confused. Weirdest part is the queue not taking 3 seconds for me. Oh, that's for projectiles. Okay. This is the one we want to change. So throwing all these errors again. They don't seem to be for any reason. Okay, so now there should be a 3-second delay between him hitting me with the head bonk and the queue getting cleared. Now I should be able to see the queue. If I set it up right, it should only be possible for one copy of the attack to be in the queue. It should be checking. Oh, I'm in debug, that's why it's looking all weird. Maximum aggression. Okay, there we go. Let's check the queue. There's only one item in the queue. Interestingly, even if he hits me with another one of the same attack, it actually is... Great. Damn it. This is the can you count 3 seconds game. Damn it. Come on. What if we change it down to 1 second? Maybe I can time that a little bit easier. I want to see if it is possible for me to time it right, and at least get the parry effect and get the same effect we were getting before, where it looked like it was getting parried, but it was also hitting me through it. Just want to confirm there's only one thing in the queue, and it is somehow doing both. Come on, buddy. Please don't be like this. It's... Unprofessional. No cunning. You can't even think to do it. Yep. Oh, okay. I was able to do it that time. Okay, just one. Interesting. Okay, so if with the 1 second delay, it is able to just fire once. But waiting for end of frame, let's just double check that that is still a problem. Is it just happening too fast? The code isn't able to? I've never experienced a situation where the problem was the code is not fast enough for something. I think that is very unlikely to be the issue. Come on, Paul. I'm still in debug. Wait, why am I in player? Ugh. Player, Paul, same starting leather. Okay. Come on. Okay. Wait. I think I know what the issue is. So, what is being neutralized is the hitbox on Paul. It is the attack colliders here. This attack script is having the neutralize call put on it. But neutralize gets the first collider 2D component that's on it and sets that to false. And that's like the way that it's neutralized. But the problem is, this object has 2 colliders on it. It has the box and it has the circle. So it's just taking the first one. But the one we're actually using for the attack is the circle. So what we need to do is, I guess if... Well, we just have to disable both. If get component box collider 2D. Kind of sucks that we have to do this. Wait, isn't there a get all components of type or something like that? Get components? Maybe we do or plus then get components lighter 2D I plus plus. Okay. That was wishful thinking. If get component box collider 2D get component. Oh, this is so ugly. Is there an easier way to write this? Let's look it up. We check if object has a component. If so, disable it. Okay, so it's bringing up a lot of tutorials about just how to enable and disable components, but that is not the issue I'm having. Isn't it like a question mark? set variable, maybe? One line. Does not seem very simple. At least it's not simple to find. That's alright. Circle collider. Sucks that we have to use get component twice here. Wonder if maybe we could have a collider 2D and have it be. There we go. And maybe on start. Man, this feels like whatever. Let's make it work. If it works, then we can try to clean it up and make it look better. I don't think I'll use any colliders other than boxes and circles. So this should cover all the bases. Be aggressive, Paul. More aggressive. Okay. Still hitting twice. Oh, wow. Look at that. I'm proud of that pause there. Okay, so this is before the second hit and after the first. So right now, if we go on to the attack colliders, the circle collider should not be on right now. But it is neutralized. That's interesting. Actually, you know what we could... Oh my god. You know what else we could do? Check for damage avoid. Okay, well that is... Thanks. If attack.neutralized, we return true for now. And there's going to be other ways to avoid damage other than just that. Yeah, I really just set up the bare bones, huh? I was like, yeah, future me will get it. Future me will know what I was thinking. Luckily I have, but I figured it out eventually anyway, but... What I should have done is just took notes. I would have fixed a lot of this. Sped this up. Okay. Very good. Come on, give me another. I want to do a perfect. Yeah! Haha! Okay, so now that we have that system working... actually, another thing that I just noticed is the attack is hitting a little bit too soon. And I think I know why. What I need to do is... I need to go into the curves. How do I lock this? I do this and then go in here. Okay, yeah, curves. What I want is for the tangents to be constant. What this means is the circle isn't going to move in between the frames. It is just going to exist exactly where I set it in the frames without the interpolation. So now, there should not be a moment where I parry something that has not hit me yet. So far, so good. Be aggressive, Paul. We're showing something off here. There we go. Ow. Okay, it hit me twice. Okay. Cool. So that's working pretty well. Well enough for Paul, anyway. Now let's go through his other attacks and animate those. Slice, launch. This one's also going to be a circle. Both slices are going to be circles. So let's just set those now. This is the circle. Also, we could neutralize the attack if it hits as well. Which is probably good to avoid those double hits. Just in case that causes issues, let's do that after. So now it should be impossible for you to parry or get hit by an attack twice. Let's check. Go, just one. Okay, cool. I was dashing through it, but that still caught me. That is what I want. It's good. It's still able to hit me if I'm, right next to him. Very nice! Okay, other attacks now. This one a little to the back here. Here is where the actual likely hit should be. This is the frame that I want it to be on when you get a parry. Back a little bit to catch the player if they're a little too close. Then we remove it. Just like before, we want curves to be constant. Okay. Now let's do the low slice as well. Yeah, the way I did the animation here, I think I like way more, where the launch includes a frame really far back, and then immediately snaps forward. That looks much better. Then I can include all of this space in one frame. like no way the player could like hide from this in any weird way. Honestly, not too sure I even need the circle here still, but fine. It'll exist for one more frame. And then more constants. Cool. Do it. No, wait. No, wait, no, don't walk away from me. Okay. Why isn't that working anymore? The headbutt also not working anymore? Oh, you have to show me. There we go. Okay, the headbutt works. What would be the difference? Still using the exact same attack. It should not be neutralized. It needs to unneutralize itself at the start of every attack. Okay. Yeah, right here. Lighter attack script dot. I should add an unneutralize. But you know, why not? Unneutralize. Neutralized is false. I don't think I'm going to be referencing this much more than here, but just in case, maybe it'll be useful at some other time. Okay, so now it should be unneutralizing itself. Then again, it wasn't hitting me until the headbutt. So maybe it actually was fine. Let's just watch it closely. Okay, it is getting neutralized at the right time. Did I not set damage for them? Oh, I didn't set damage, did I? Ah. It needs to do damage, otherwise it's ignored. Okay, that should be... Now they should all work. Yeah. Oh, Paul. Oh, Paul, wait. Attack me. Oh. Other than that. Please with something other than that. Saw that coming? Oh, come on. Those are really quick. I think I'm going to get rid of the little time stop effect that happens whenever you parry. I thought it would feel really good, but it kind of just makes it look really sluggish. Let's get rid of those. Or at least just comment them out. Here. Maybe that'll feel fine. On a kill, that kind of makes sense. That feels way better to me. Damn it. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to do when I was talking about making the combat more accessible, like 30 minutes ago, and then I lost my train of thought, is I want to make it so that if an attack is directional, so like the up slice and down slice, they require you to parry either high or low. Unless it's like a specific really dangerous attack that doesn't let you do this, I want it to be possible to parry those even from the neutral guard stance. But you're not able to get perfect parries unless you actually block the right angle. So that way, even if you are coming up against a new enemy and you don't know its attack patterns, you don't need to read both the direction and the timing. You can just get by on the timing for most attacks at first until you learn them, and then you can play better. So that is what I would like to implement now. And that should be just in the check stance. So what we want to do here is we need to have like another... Can you do 2 returns? Bool bool? No. Check stance. What I'd like to be able to do is return 2 bools. One of them is, did you get it at all? And then did you get it perfect? Maybe we need to do this somewhere else. Guess we want to have that be a parameter within the attack itself, whether or not you can do this special parry or can't. So like, is stance just means is there any stance that can't parry it? And if so... Wait, no. It means there is a stance you need to be in order to parry it. And if it doesn't matter at all what stance you're in, then that would just be false. But we need another one that is... Are you able to kind of... How about a require specific stance? Like a word for like strict. Strict stance. So if strict, then that means you need to get it exactly right. If it's not strict, then that means you can be just in the neutral stance and still able to block it. So in hit effects, or hit manager, for parry, I really feel like this is where you should... Are we sure we can't return to? What's the problem here? I'll look it up. C++. Okay, it doesn't look like there's a simple way to do that. Okay, actually, I just thought of a way. We add another function for checking. Check for strict parry. This is the one that's going to require... In fact, we can just copy this over, because that is basically the rules that we were working with before. And then, if it's not a strict parry, then we can just call this one instead. Cool. It does... Okay, it does actually... Damn. It doesn't exactly accomplish what we were hoping, though, because of the difference between dull and perfect parries. Maybe in here, if perfect window and overworld control.stance equals... Oh, two equal signs. Attack dot stance. It should never be possible to get a perfect without doing the correct stance. And then we can just get rid of this, turn this into else. Okay, let's see if that works. Oh! Fight me. Okay, not quite what we're hoping for. Also, this isn't... Actually, this isn't working at all. Yeah, I'm definitely... Are the attacks not set up properly? Oh, I'm not calling the different ones, depending. Ah! Oh. Check for parry. So if... So this needs to have two different branches. So if attack.strict to be a part of the attack. Oh wait, this is attack script. The attack script needs to know whether or not it's a strict. Stance, public, dual, strict, parry. Okay, then And strict parry equals attack dot strict stance. I like keeping my names consistent. Also keeping the order of everything consistent. I really like that. Okay, so now the attack knows whether or not it stands. So then if attack dot strict stance, then we do if check for strict. Did I say script parry? Strict. Check for strict parry. Okay, we can do this all in one, then we don't have to repeat. If attack dot strict stance, if not, and we check for a normal parry and that works, or if it is strict and check for strict parry. Either of those, both of those things are true, then we can do this. So for example, let's say the headbutt is strict. Just to test this system out. Come on, Unity. Animations, attacks, head bonk. We're gonna make this strict stance. And it is stanced. That should also be set as stanced, but it's not strict. Cool. So now the quick attacks you can just parry normal, but the head bonk you have to parry high. Right, Paul? I went up there. Come on, buddy. Okay, nice. That's working the way I intended. Did you time it right? Okay. That definitely should have worked. It just didn't. Seems like it's constantly checking for strict. Okay. Why would that be? Let's watch the attack colliders. Let's see, maybe... Come on. He does a regular attack, that should turn off. Yep. Okay, so strict stance is properly enabling and disabling itself depending on the attack. So that is working. Just not quite working the way we were hoping. No! Oh, man. Maybe I'm getting a little too tired. I never actually set up the the system where if your stance is neutral, then it still works. So we're gonna have to do this. Done. Okay. Yes. Come on. Really need to make him more aggressive. Like, just at base. No! Okay, cool. I can only parry the slice attacks in the neutral stance. Yes. But they're always dull, even if I time them really well. The headbutt I have to do a high stance for. Yes, it's working. Let's try to get perfects. Going too early on the headbutts. Too early for that, huh? Ah! Slices are so quick. There we go, now I'm getting it. Okay. I've checked plenty now. Yes, it works. The detection for parries is functioning. Next up, what I really want to do is get the projectile for the Polican working. Oh boy. Something about streaming just really does drain my energy quick. Let's see how far into it we can get before I die. Because spawning projectiles is something that I have not set up any infrastructure for at all. Probably be in combat animation flags. Ooh. Void spawn projectile. Do we really need the enemy? I don't think so. I think we just need the projectile prefab. The attack stats to determine the damage and stuff. Obj equals instantiate. Projectile prefab. We also need a transform. Can they transform? E. I think projectiles have their own type of script, though. They're not projectile. Yes, this has a projectile script, so that's what we want to look for instead of an attack script. Script equals get component projectile script. Damage equals that. Direction equals direction, facing direction. Maybe we do need the enemy. Then we could get the enemy facing. Facing. Does the enemy really not have a facing direction? Yeah, dang. Put it next to facing right, I guess. Now we should be able to, in combat animation flags, enemy dot facing direction. Lovely. In projectile dot fire. Set fire angle? I saw that, yeah? What do we need for that? Facing right. Oh, we just need the bool. Facing right. Yeah, the projectile actually doesn't need a direction. So actually, maybe for player hit detection, it matters. So what we need to do is set it here. If facing right, direction equals direction alright, else. There we go. And that's nice here, because now we don't need to set the direction here. That cleans that up a little bit. Okay, so need a projectile prefab, a place for it to be, and the stats of the attack. Okay. I actually don't want you to have a combat animation flags, because that's a static class. Accessible to everything. Now, just put this somewhere in the attacks. Maybe next to spawn attack. Liquid spawn projectile. And we're going to use attack. And the attack itself needs to have all that information. And then we're going to be able to pass all the information that we need into Spawn projectile. First we need the enemy. That'd be this. The projectile prefab, that's going to be attack dot. We need to actually pass in that, don't we? Yep. Let's put a space. And projectiles should have like their own home within the attack. Projectile prefab. If attack dot is ranged, then return. There we go. So now if anything weird happens, it's not gonna potentially break things. Like if an attack isn't ranged and then it tries to spawn a projectile from it, who knows what that would do. Now we need a transform. Feel like that's another one of those anchors that we probably need to figure out. Attack anchor, maybe we just need a projectile anchor. Dial on. Now, the attack itself also. Okay. That does not seem too bad. Now all of the work that we should have to do if we're making a new projectile attack is just give it a projectile. Right? I'm saying right, as if, y'all know. If we need to make a new projectile for the Polykin. Let's make a new folder. This is the base. I just used a PNG of an arrow when I was testing it out. Let's unpack this. Instead, you're going to have the Polykin. Oh, it's so teeny. Oh, the scale is super off because it was an arrow image. Okay. This is going to be a Polykin. Hello? Actually, this shouldn't even be a box collider. This should definitely be a circle. Cool. Stackable. The damage here doesn't actually matter. Make it private. Actually, wait, no. Combat animation flags needs to have access to it. Never mind. Make it public. Doesn't matter. Okay. Let's make sure Paul doing his throw Polykin attack. This is where we want it to come out of. Harlequin spawn. Ooh. Ranged. Let's make sure we have this. There's the impact point. This is just for like a little white spark effect. Okay. We also want to make sure that we set this. That is the point in the animation where spawn projectile. All we have is spawn attack. I definitely put it next to that, yeah? Is there an error, maybe? Did I make it private? No. Oh, you know what? That's probably it. Attack. We know enemy attack. Attack equals current attack. There we go. So you can't pass in variables with these animation flags. That's why it wasn't showing up. There it is. Sure we actually override everything on Paul. Now, if he does his attack... Okay, not quite. Projectile spawn wasn't set. Be right after attack anchor. Oh, I know what it is. Need to create another one of these. There. Small price to pay for my organization of the enemy script. Every time I add a new variable to it, I need to add it in 2 different scripts. But now I actually have to assign it. I want you to do that now. Come on, buddy. Yes! Oh, that's awesome! I love that that just worked. Attack script. Is there... What's wrong with this? Spawn attack should not be getting called at all. It should just be spawn projectile. There's an object reference that's not set. Thing. I have noticed that after he does his Pelican throw, he seems to snap into the headbutt Yeah. He immediately starts headbutting. Why? Why would you do that to me? Oh, wait, what? That's why. What is going on there? Did that happen? That's better. Okay, but it is also supposed to actually hit me and do damage when that happens. So why is that not happening? Is it perhaps not a trigger? Oh, it's always that. Come on, throw it. Okay. Whoa. Not hitting a wall or a player attack, so it's definitely Hit Manager here that's doing this. No errors. Not appear to be any errors. I wonder if I deleted the way I did projectile detection too. Oh, its damage is 0. Polican damage. Let's make the Polican just like really deadly. It does 2 damage, everyone. Come on. You got nothing, Paul. What are you gonna do? Hurt me? You can't. Don't try it. No, stop. No, 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 he's too close. Come on. Now you're just teasing me, Paul, and that's not nice. There we go. Oh. Alright, now I'll block it. Yeah! I love the sound effect I did for that. Alright. Oh, okay. That was a good 2 hours of work done on this stream. I am pooped. But next up, I think I'm ready to recreate the enemy getting hit detection. And at that point, we'll have like a real combat system on our hands where both opponents can actually harm each other. That'd be pretty big. Also, I noticed that I was able to get hit by these because they were both enabled at the start. So they were able to hit me, even though he wasn't attacking yet. Okay, that was really big progress, and it does not appear like anyone actually came into the chat or anything, but that's fine. The purpose of these streams is to just make me feel like I'm being watched, so that I'm able to do these things. And I did. I'm very happy with everything we were able to do in this stream. All the stupid moments of me being stupid are worth it in the end, because just the act of putting a game together is just really satisfying for me. So, yeah. Thank you to everyone who maybe just, what's the term? The people who would just sit and don't say anything in chat. I'm gonna think of it right after I end the stream. Yeah, whatever. Those people, you know who you are. Thank you for dropping in. Thank you to everyone who comes to watch this later, including my future self, potentially. and I will hopefully see y'all in a future stream. See ya!